Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Diamondbacks Dispatch. We're here for episode 2. Brandon, Brett, and Gabe here. The Diamondbacks decided to give us some content to talk about, so we appreciate that very much. Thank you, Mike Hazen. For those of you that don't know, Mike Hazen fleeced the Seattle Mariners again. I believe this is the third time. And as Brett and multiple people have pointed out, they have made a massive trade the day before Thanksgiving 2016. They got Ketel Marte from the Seattle Mariners, and now they got Eugenio Suarez for a bag of chips. Like, literally, we gave up nothing. We gave up a backup catcher that I don't even know was going to be on the opening day roster. To be honest. And in Zabby Zavallo, who...
Yeah, Zavallo,
and then
yeah.
Also gave up just a normal guy that throws hard but doesn't know where it's going, Carlos Vargas, which we already have two of in Luis Frias and Justin Martinez. So it's not like we were giving up much.
My BFF.
And we got, I wouldn't say he's our third baseman of the future. He's our third baseman for the next 2 years, at least, which is
a nice stopgap,
which is what we needed.
Somebody that you can plug in every day and not go, oh, I wonder what kind of production we're going to get from.
Now we don't have to worry about, geez,
Emmanuel
Rivera now, Jace Peterson. Like, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Like, Suarez last year played all 162 games. We have guys on the corners in Walker and Suarez that Torrey literally could put every day.
That's nice. I imagine as a pitcher on the Diamondbacks pitching staff, gives you a little bit more confidence, knowing you're like, especially like, we already know Walker's Gold Glove, but looking at Eugenio's stats, like Suarez was really good defensively. Like, I know we were talking about it before the show, but 97th percentile in his range for outs above average with 11 last year at third base, and he's not really known as being like the defensive guy, or at least like me personally, I haven't known him to be that defensive guy. He hasn't, he's always been on the Reds and then the Mariners, so I haven't watched him too much, but like he's good in the field. Like you're saying with the health, like playing all 162 is very key. Like, there's any team, if you can have guys that give you 162, like you're going to take that every day of the week. And I mean, he definitely, or at least I think he will definitely benefit from being in a more hitters friendly environment like Chase Field than I think, was it T-Mobile Park now?
It will always be safe.
Like, I don't think T-Mobile is the most hitters friendly. And I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but just even watching games, like I feel like there was way more like, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 games at T-Mobile Park, like specifically, and maybe that's just the Mariners offense or who they're playing. But it never seemed like a high offensive like environment to where now, bring him here to Chase Field. He could kind of get back to his 2019 numbers with the Reds where he popped like 40 plus home runs. Like, yeah. I like the move a lot.
I want to mention that, talking about the Reds, so that year that he had like his best year and hit 40 home runs, he was actually under Joe Mather, which is a Diamondbacks hitting coach.
Ooh, deep cut Gabe there.
So if, and Joe Mather's the one who's credited for, fixing Suarez and Castellanos too. So putting him back to work with the guy who made him great might, really help him out with his power numbers and everything. Because, 22 homers and 96 RBI, he would be, behind Walker in RBI? How many did Walker have? 97?
Walker had like 104,
By the way, his home and road splits last year are literally identical. So it wasn't like, oh my God, like he's so much better on the... It's literally split right down the middle. Like, at home, 335 plate appearances, 12 homers, 48 runs driven in, slash 232, 331 for 11. On the road, 81 games, 359 plate appearances, 10 homers, 48 runs driven in, slash 232, 315, 374. So it's very much, it's not like he hits so much higher at home or on the road. Some would say he had a down year because they look at batting average and strikeouts. He still hit 20 plus home runs, played all 162. And like Brett was saying, outs above average defensively. He's really good.
So one of Gabriel, when he was talking about, Suarez only hitting 22 home runs this year, I just did a quick look up. Evan Longoria, Emmanuel Rivera, and I believe, let me double check, Buddy Kennedy. I don't think he had any home runs this year. We know Rojas didn't hit any home runs for us because that was the thing. He hit his first home run of the year for the Mariners. Jace Peterson didn't hit a home run for us.
Pretty sure it's less than 22.
Yeah, Buddy Kennedy, 0 home runs this year. Between all of our third basemen that we had this year, 16 home runs. No, sorry, 15. Longoria had 11. Rivera had 4. Between 5 different guys at your one of your hot corners, that's supposed to be like one of your bigger like run producing areas, and you get a total of 15 home runs out of that. Like this like Suarez could hit exactly how he hit this year, and there's already a night and day difference.
If there's one thing, if you just cut back on the strikeouts just a little bit, over 200 has me a little. I was like, ugh. But like if he hits the same number of home runs driven in, plays well defensively, I'm completely fine with it.
And depending on where he's slotted in the lineup, like it could have more to do with like the kind of pitches he gets to hit. Like maybe like, I don't know, again with the Mariners, I didn't watch games. If he was that kind of like him and J-Rod, if they were the big thumpers in their lineup, like, the guys that, you worry about and like you can kind of pitch around them and then everybody else you kind of try to attack. With the D-backs, he might be able to get some better pitches depending on where he's slotted. Like imagine if he slotted like in between like a Marte and a Walker or something like that, or even like a Carroll or like some of the other guys in the team. Like he might just get better, more quality pitches to hit and won't feel that need to be like, oh, I'm the guy that's got to drive in the runs. I'm the guy that's got to get the big hit. Like, because it seemed like the D-backs, especially this year, maybe that's a thing with Mather, maybe that's just the coaching staff in general. Like we talked about it before. So there's times where it was really good and there's times where it's not, but the passiveness at the plate, like the looking exactly for your pitch. Like, oh, if that pitcher throws a 2-2 backdoor sinker that absolutely dots the corner, like, what are you going to do with that pitch? Like, don't roll over on it and go into a double play. Like, sometimes you just get beat. Like, it's frustrating to watch as a fan, but maybe that kind of thing will help, Suarez get back into, like you're saying, dropping the strikeout numbers a little bit. Like, he's always been a strikeout guy, but it's really increased the last 2 years. And I think he can really knock that down, just having a few more well-established power hitters in the lineup.
So out of his 598 at-bats, 212 of them were hitting in the 3 spot. And then he had 160 in the 5 and then 132 in the 6 spot. And then he hit second and fourth, but not as much. So I feel like he's
he's not going to be a number 3
It
here.
depends on what other moves they make. If they do end up re-signing either Tommy Pham or Lourdes, I definitely see Suarez in the 3, 4, 5 spot.
Yeah, I could see him maybe slotted behind, because I feel like Walker is just always going to be the 3 spot. Like I feel, because if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't the last like month. It was Corbin and Cattell swapped to 1 and 2, Walker 3, Pham 4. Yeah,
so during
like
the playoffs, it was Moreno at the 3rd spot for towards the end,
Moreno at the very end for the playoffs. Yeah, so maybe so I could see next year like maybe they throw Moreno in the 5 hole, like just like because if they have dudes like Suarez, because like Moreno's such a good hitter where if you can have guys just on base for him, like that's all you need. Like that's why hitting him in the 3rd hole is really nice, because if you have Corbin on base, any double anything in the gap, Corbin scoring. But like I think he'd do really good in the 4 hole. I think he'd be a really solid cleanup hitter, hitting behind, like literally throw him behind Walker before Moreno.
Yeah, like just right now, if we go based on who we know that's on the roster, I personally go Carroll, Marte, Walker, Suarez, Moreno. Trying to think.
Maybe Alec.
If we get postseason Alex, yes, then I'll put him in the 6th spot. Who else are we missing?
7, Lawler, or maybe McCarthy, whoever
If we're playing
others.
Perdomo every day, he's in the 9th spot for me every single time.
Oh, we forgot about our DH too. So whoever
Yeah,
would
we
be
don't
our
have a
DH
DH
would
right
probably
now,
be in
so-
like the 5th or the 6th, and then Moreno and everyone else
yeah,
just slide down.
Yeah, but I love this trade because we didn't give up anything. Like, we literally gave up nothing that is going to hurt us. Unless Vargas turns out to be a stellar bullpen arm. Kind of sucks. But he just was...
Yeah, but if
wasn't bad.
anything, I would rather have that happen because fleecing teams is nice, but it's also way nicer when the trades are in even, like, one team benefited really well, another team benefited really well as well. Like, I'd rather have it be a win-win. Like, again, as a Diamondbacks fan, if we are the only team that wins, I'm okay. But I kind of want it to be a win-win just so then, like, the Mariners are still willing to make these trades with us, I still want them to be our feed.
So, as we're currently talking about player acquisitions, figured we kind of go over and preview what we would like to see this team do in terms of free agency or maybe another trade this offseason. So we're going to start with ones that we want, regardless if we even think it is possible. So I want each of you to have like your top 3. So for me, my top 3 would be Shohei, Yamamoto, Blake Snell. Those are my top 3 that if money is no option, like for some reason Ken Kendrick is like, oh, yes, I will spend money. Those are the 3 that I want because can you imagine those 3 along with Merrill and Zach?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
A 2025 rotation of Zach, Merrill, Shohei. That feeds families right
Yamamoto.
there.
As Brett would say, that's got me bricked up.
Yeah. So I think the 2 of those would probably be my like big wish list. Like if I could be, MLB The Show, ignore budgets, turn off all that, basically play with infinite money. I'm bringing Shohei Ohtani here on a $600 million, $700 million deal. Here you go.
And he's our
I'm
DH.
going after
We
Yamamoto.
were talking about we don't have a DH.
Yeah,
It's
he's our
Shohei,
DH.
y'all.
Yeah, Shohei becomes our DH. Yamamoto becomes our next ace. So if whether Zach Gallen walks or not, we're set with our number 1, or at least 1A, 1B. Him and Gallen can switch until if they both stay here, whatever. And then honestly, the third one, it's tough. I will lean Josh Hader just because, like, it would be really nice. Like our bullpen's really set, but just like a lot of teams we've seen, like bullpens can be, 1 year. Dudes have a career year, and then they turn into like nothing. Look at Joe Manaply. Joe Manaply was like the best reliever on like basically the face of the planet in the first month and a half, 2
2022.
months of the 2022 season, and ever since then he's just kind of gone back to what he pretty much showed when he was a Yankee, when he did all that. So I think getting a guy like Hader would really, really bode well with adding an extra like threat in that bullpen. Like because as a pitcher, you get through at least 5, and you gotta like maybe every other night face like, oh, you have guys back there like Ryan Thompson, Andrew Saalfrank, Kevin Ginkel, Paul Sewald, and then you throw in a guy like Josh Hader. Like I'm sorry, have fun.
I am not a big
Yeah.
fan of Hader, as I have also grown up as a Padres fan, so I've been watching them the last very, very long. His ego of, oh, I don't pitch on back-to-back, or I don't do a 4-out save, really rubbed me like, if your team needs you to pitch to win a game, you need to pitch. Like that.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree, but I think that was more like it could have just been him in the mindset of, all right, there is a week and a half until the season's over.
No.
Realistically,
He
we're
did
not
this-
making it. He's like,
He
I
did
want
this
to-
all the last 2 years.
Ooh,
It was
okay. Maybe
like
maybe that
it was like
makes it a little bit
June.
more, but I don't know. I still
Like
want that
it
man
was
in the bullpen.
June, and they were sliding, and they were up, and they needed 4 outs, and he has this thing where,
Oh, you're
and I
right.
was like,
You're right. I remember that. I remember that
no,
game.
that like you need to be able to pitch. Like I get pitching like 3 out of 5 or 4 days in a row, but if you haven't pitched in 4 days, and the team needs you 4 outs, no, Josh Hader, I'm like, nah, someone else can go overpay for him.
Yeah, I think somebody will overpay Hater, but for me, Shohei, obviously, Yamamoto. I mean, these are guys who are going to pay for themselves literally before they even throw a pitch. Like, just with the audiences you're going to get, the sponsors and everything. But, and this is, I feel like a realistic one, but I want Justin Turner here. This is a guy I've been wanting for, how many years he's been on the Dodgers, just killing us.
Hits
The
well
guy
at Chase Field, y'all.
destroys the
It's
ball
well
at
at Chase Field. We know that.
This guy is, I'm like, he's going to hit 400 if he signs with the Diamondbacks. Like, this guy is incredible as it is. And then he seems to have, pretty good vibes about him. Like we've seen throughout the playoffs, we call it the power of friendship. But, having a connected team, a team that really cares about each other, a team that gets along well. And you had a guy like Justin Turner, who, as far as I know, is a pretty good guy. I've never heard anybody complain about him. So
I've
you
heard a lot of good
plug
things
him in
about
there
him
with
being a
these
good
guys.
guy.
Yeah, so you put him in here with a bunch of these young guys, which they need. Again, we're losing Pham, we're losing Gurriel, so as far as we know so far. So getting a guy who can lead this team, seems good to me. So yeah, I would get all 3 of them. Obviously, it's going to cost what, $1.5 billion
$1.2
probably.
billion for all 3 of
If
those
Texas
guys.
can do it,
Yeah.
why can't we do it?
We can. Well, there's a very
Yes, I know.
very clear reason. Texas has an owner that has money, and Ken Kendrick has money, but he's not trying to jeopardize 20 years from now Diamondbacks ownership
Yeah,
for just
it's
a potential 3
definitely
years.
a bummer. But like I said, though for me, Shohei, like we have joked about it for what, like almost like probably 6 months. Like, how cool would it be if we get Shohei? Like honestly, I don't even expect them to probably even get. If Hazen can get at least meet with him, that would be cool. Like if we find out that yes, he met with the Diamondbacks.
At least they're showing like some interest. I don't want it to be the normal like what they do with every big name, like and whether it's a dude being posted from Japan or just a free agent here. I don't want the normal, we hear for 2 months, oh, the Diamondbacks have interest in this, and then the immediate, oh, they never met with him,
Yeah.
there was never actual any interest. It was just basically saying they had interest so they could say they had interest. Like,
Yeah.
as Josh said in our little message here, Ken doesn't have enough money because he is a broke boy who spends all of it on
Yes.
baseball cards. I'm kidding. He's not a broke boy.
No. He definitely has the money. It's just, I hope that this postseason showed to him that you spend money like what we have on this team right now. If we had 1 or 2 extra bats and another starting pitcher, I truly feel like we would have at least posted to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still will die on the hill if we just if Corey Seager didn't turn into a fucking god, then that game 1 ends way different. I think it ends in 5 for the Diamondbacks, maybe 6. Like that's what sucks is like there are so many games where, like you're saying exactly, you instead of how many situations where instead of Emmanuel Rivera up there, imagine Suarez, a dude that can drive in 100-something RBIs, like way more confident in that. Like instead of going to a bullpen game in Game 4, I would have rather had like Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, so at least somebody that is can at least give you innings. What you're gonna get. It's not this like question mark of like who knows. Roll the dice. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons. It's like you need a 10. It's like you could roll a natural 20. You could roll a 1. Like you have no idea what you're doing.
Well, I mean, that's why they paid Seager $325 million. Like,
I mean, yeah.
one of the Diamondbacks, that's what, half the payroll right there?
Can I
Like,
say
you
thank
have to
God
spend
he
money.
right?
left the
So
Dodgers?
we don't have to see him that much.
Yes.
So now, I want us to go and do 3 realistic signings that we could potentially see. And Brett just brought them up, and it just clicked for me. Seth Lugo for starter. Like, he is not going to cost a lot. He pitched really well for San Diego in the second half of last year. Gabe also brought it up. Justin Turner. If we don't re-sign Tommy Pham or Lourdes, I think Justin Turner as a DH on like a 1 year, like a very cheap 1 year deal. I don't hate it. He breaks at Chase Field. Like, I might get season tickets in left field because that's where he's going to hit all of his bombs.
Oh, dude, have you really quickly? What's funny? Go to was it Statcast? Oh no, sorry, Baseball Savant. Justin Turner. I'm gonna show you literally every single home run he hit this year. Every single one, except for 2. All to left field or left center. Every single one. The only ones that were to right or right center barely squeaked over the bullpen wall in Boston. Everything else,
Yeah.
all pull. I would love to see a JT bomb in a cold beer cheeseburgers.
Yeah. So, Justin Turner, Seth Lugo. And I feel like we need a decent backup catcher to Gabby. Like, I don't want a huge drop off. Like, I don't want to go to Jose Herrera. I just don't. Like, that is too much of, like, I don't want to have a backup catcher where we know, we're probably going to lose this game because Gabby's not playing. Like, I want someone that can be serviceable, that can most still do very well with the pitching staff, because again, that is something that Gabby has, that it's something you cannot quantify. Like, it's just something that he has. It's not something that you can really gauge as to how good a guy is on that. But we saw it last year. The team's record when he was behind the plate and when he wasn't was night and day. And I don't.
Yeah, like he was the heartbeat of this team for, like, the pitching staff, just everything.
So
Why not Gary Sanchez?
Oh yes,
believe
I was gonna
Gary
say, I
Sanchez is a free
pulled up a
agent.
the
list
only
of
problem I
the-
have with that one,
There's Gary
Gary Sanchez
Sanchez.
is a
I
free
think he's
agent.
going to want to play.
19 home
He had
run.
a really good bounce back year with the Padres. I would be 100% okay taking the flyer on Gary. Because, like, his defense
They're gonna be
made it.
just
Like,
sitting
he
behind
was
him.
also what Blake Snell, like, credited him how many times for being part of the reason why, like, he was like, yeah, like, I pitched well today because Gary behind the plate called an amazing game. Like, I had the confidence, all the confidence in the world with him. Like,
Again, that
what we're saying about
that
the-
could be 2 birds with one stone. Backup catcher, DH. Like,
Yeah, that could be. I mean, he hit 20 home runs. He only played, 70 games, I think? So a guy, not playing much, but also was able to hit bombs. He had a 500 slugging. So again, you put him behind Gabby, playing 30, 40 games a year, maybe? As a
being our
catcher.
other
like-
DH, our second,
or
our
as a
backup
Gabby,
DH.
I just
Doesn't strike out a lot.
don't want him to play more. Like, if he has to play more than 130, that worries me come September. Like, if we can get him between 110 and 120, for me, I'm like, then he'll be good to go for the postseason. Like, I know that postseason's not guaranteed, but with a catcher, I don't want them to be overworked, because by the time we get to August and September, we're going to see so many freak injuries because he's just going to be behind the plate 3 hours a night, day after day after day. Like, and I just, it's funny. Gabby wasn't supposed to be the starter last year. It was Carson.
It was supposed to be under Carson's wing for another year, but
Carson got hurt, and Gabby just showed, again, Mike Hazen fleecing a team on a trade. That might be the most lopsided trade in Dbacks history, by the way.
Yeah.
Carson's wing was broken.
Definitely broken. That is for sure.
Literally, no, like that's actually funny. Like, not in a Carson Kelly just had legitimate bad luck. How many times did he have a broken something in the like part of a hand, a forearm, like
He's made of
elbow?
glass.
Like the dude just
He's
was the
made of
AJ Pollock
glass,
of
I
the he was our 2023 AJ Pollock.
And I think I saw that he is going to re-sign with Detroit. I thought,
Oh yeah, no, he got picked up there. Yeah, he's there on a 1 or 2 year deal.
like, I want him to do well. Like, I always enjoyed when he played. He can never stay healthy. And
yeah. What were your other ones on your realistic free agents? Who'd you already say? Obviously, Seth Lugo,
Justin Turner,
and then I'm throwing out Gary Sanchez personally.
That's a really good poll, honestly, game. Until you said that, I didn't even think about that.
Realistic. Oh, Sonny Gray.
Yeah, Sonny Gray. Yes, I would love Sonny Gray.
Like, I feel like we need another, not like an ace, but definitely a 1 or a 2 that we can slot as our third, because that's the reason why we had a bullpen game in the World Series. Because can you imagine Gallen, Kelly, Gray, Brandon Pfaadt? Like,
I could eat that for my Thanksgiving meal right there.
My expectations for Pfaadt have gone up drastically after what I saw he did in the postseason. I'm like, okay.
he really did
so
step
you
up.
do have this, like, his first couple starts, I'm like, is he it? Because he was given, and then Strami, the god that he is, like, let's put you on the other side of the rubber, and boom, a clip. I was like, that is insane.
I still think that I remember where I was in, it sounds crazy, 2021, when it was like November, season ended, Dbacks having their second worst, season in franchise history. The Astros just coming off of being in a World Series appearance, right? Didn't they lose to the Braves in 21? Yeah, because then they won in 22. Yeah, so freshly coming off of that, and then Brent Strom, like, everyone's like, oh, he's going to retire, chooses to come to the Diamondbacks. And he's a dude that for months even before the season ended, I was like, D-backs could use a pitching coach that knows what he's doing. Look what he did. Like, literally, the only thing I needed to know, I was like, Justin Verlander was basically known as in his last year or two in Detroit as a guy that basically was like, yeah, he's kind of cooked. He doesn't have it anymore. Like, maybe start to, find a different role for him, or maybe slot him, and he's not an ace anymore. Dude goes in to Houston. Brent Strom gets a hold of him, turns him into a god. Fast forward 2021, signs with the D-backs. All anyone's saying is like, why are you going to go to the D-backs? Why are you going to go there? Like, what do they have there? And he knew. He was like, the amount of young talent. He's like, he can mold them into anything that he sees. Like, little, like, he could probably see, like, with like Pfaadt, where it's like, hey, you don't need to change, like, you're spinning the ball well, your release points are good. He's like, just give him a different angle from where it's coming out on the mound. Like, try that. And like it's insane how that one little
first
thing.
Start at Cincinnati, he was looking good through 5, and then the 6, he just did the same.
Wasn't it back-to-back starts? It was that one in Cincinnati where he just got kind of screwed by the home run ball, and then wasn't the very next one in San Fran when he went like 8
and
innings,
we couldn't score.
Like 7 innings.
Like he had an ERA of like 9 and was like 0-5. I was like, is he really that good? I'm like, y'all need to watch him actually pitch. Don't go based on what his stats show, because it is very misleading. Because his first start was against the Texas Rangers in Arlington.
Josh Jung decided to adopt him that day with those 2 bombs.
Like, his first few starts, like, he didn't get a good shake. Like, he went up against really good rosters, and his ERA just got so high that it didn't matter how good he finished the year, his ERA would have looked outrageous. And that's what it was.
I think he had like a 3.5 ERA at the end of the year too. So, I mean, he carried that into the playoffs.
So, yeah. Like,
So-
he's not a 3. He's a
Yeah.
4. And I'm fine with That's why I'm like, we get one more legitimate starting pitcher, I would feel really good with. And then we'll have Tommy Henry back. And Tommy's always... He's good.
What do you guys think about trading one of the outfielders, specifically?
That's what I was
McCarthy.
thinking. I'm like, I feel like we could get something good if we traded Jake. I think Jake's...
The only
Yeah.
thing is what his value would be, just because he had a down year, he had a few injuries. Like, I definitely like, I hate even saying it. Like, I feel like he would be one of the more expendable outfielders, but I don't think that they trade him this offseason, or at least like this early. Or if anything, I think it could be like right when spring training happens or around then. Because I feel like his stock's too low to get anything worth.
Yep.
Like we know what Jake McCarthy can do. I feel like what Jake McCarthy can do and what we know would be better for this team than like, because it's not like we can give up just Jake to give some like major league ready talent. Like we'd have to give up Jake then like plus some, and depending on who you have to bring in, like I don't know, like that could be worth it. Like maybe if you have to give up like Jake McCarthy plus like a top prospect in the system. And then another, flyer guy in like AA to get like Corbin Burns. I could see that, but even then, I don't think the teams would be calling for McCarthy. I think the names that would come off the list first would be the Alec Thomases. People would probably want to ask about Fletcher, because he's still in the minors, right? Dom Fletcher, we still have him on the Rhinos. Like I think he showed a little bit more to where I don't think McCarthy would be one of the first guys that is listed, and even if he is listed, it would have to go with a bigger package of
Or you
players.
just contact Seattle again. Or Toronto. Hey, Toronto.
How about trading Jake
Or
McCarthy
Boba
for Julio Rodriguez? Straight up, easy, 1-1. Come on. Or Logan Gilbert.
Logan.
Yeah, I brought it up because I saw that graphic. It was like the baseball. It wasn't baseball reference. It was like the scouting one. It was talking about like, projecting the 25 Diamondbacks, and it had Jake in left, and then Fletch
Yeah, I saw that.
DHing. And I love these guys, but that's not it for me. It did not look like a championship team to me. So hopefully, Jake improves something that we can maybe look for another one. If we don't resign Gurriel, because that's what I'm hoping for. I would hope we can get him, but I don't know. That's what I truly want, though. That's what I want there. They just matched all together, having Gurriel, Thomas, and Carroll. It's like,
I still
it's a
can't
vibe out there.
believe he did not finish as a finalist for the left field Gold Glove.
That was such a robbery. And wasn't there reports with the Dbacks in like going in the offseason that what they're looking for with like, whether it's a DH, they're looking for a guy that can, kind of still play some defense. And not a knock on Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham's still a good defender. But if you're going to put Tommy, okay, good enough to where he's
No, he's
serviceable
not.
out there. He's not
I
a
don't
JD
want-
Martinez or Kyle Schwarber. He's not JD Martinez or Kyle
But
Schwarber.
there
at
was a
least.
Philly game.
Yeah.
That's more what I mean. Like tracking the
I
ball.
don't remember
yeah.
which game it was, but there was a hit that if he was an actual defender, he makes that play.
And that's where it's like, I love Tommy, but like literally, the amount of plays Gurriel in the playoffs in the regular season, like that man's defense was another level, and his hitting was at least consistent enough to where add that in with him being a team leader, like Gabriel saying, like I think he meshes so well with the current team we already have, and they're just fitting some of the needs that they're already looking for. Like now that they got Suarez, like the money that they were going to probably spend on a third baseman, they don't need to spend. They can give that money, try to get Gurriel. Like, obviously, he's going to get a bigger deal, but, like, I think it's worth it. Like, again, we've talked about it. At some point, you have to keep players here that fit the team, that play well. You can't just – we're not like the Dodgers. We're not some of these other organizations where we can let guys walk because we have some stud in AAA that will basically replace their production instantaneously, or if not, like, in the next season or two. Like, we're just not that level.
No, we're really not. Yeah, if if I had to pick one to re-sign, between Fam and Guriel, it's Guriel all day. Like, I don't even have to think it. Like, I get Tommy, like, clubhouse wise, what he did for this team, but I think Guriel long term, I like better. So, but this was not the only news. Unless you guys have anything else you want to kind of finally discuss for in terms of
No, I think we touched on most of the free agents that we kind of had our eyes on.
We are getting new jerseys in 2024. Let's freaking go. I'm very excited. I saw these jerseys and I'm like, I need one, and I'm pissed because literally like 2 days before I got my new Corbin Carroll black jersey one. I got so excited, and like 2 days later, like, oh, we got new uniforms. I'm like, I was like, it's fine.
And like, it makes sense because the pattern that they were doing, like, they pretty much change uniforms every 7 years.
Yeah.
So like, it makes sense.
My favorite though.
Yeah, dude, I was hyped. These are
favorite
clean.
is the black one and the teal. I freaking love that. That one is straight fire. As soon as I find it on that third-party site that I use, that they have one of them, I'm buying one. It only took them 9 months to get a Corbin Carroll jersey, though. That kind of pissed me. So I hope it doesn't take that long to get one of those on there. But no, they all look really good. Ranking-wise, yeah, you said that you went to the team shop, and they look so.
Yes, went to the team shop like. I think it was last Sunday, whenever it was, and saw them in person, and it's just so much better. The off-white, I was like, because in pictures it's kind of hard to tell. Like, I was like, I don't know exactly. Like, it looks kind of like a cream. Like, I'm not a fashion person. I don't know off-white. Seeing them in person and then like actually holding it up next to the jerseys that they had this year, like that, like what the fluorescent white, that like super bright, like it's almost unnatural, like, bright white. It looks so nice. Like, it gives me that feel of like those old, 2001 kind of like off-white color jerseys, to where they were like kind of a creamish. But it just, I don't know, it just pops really well. And those black ones, they're so nice. I've never really contemplated buying a $350 authentic on-field jersey before, because like I'm okay with my 150 replicas, or even my $50, ones from like DHgate and stuff. I might get one of those black and teal ones in the authentic, because it is that.
What's so weird is when they first announced it, the official Dbacks Twitter and Instagram made a comment saying, "Oh, they won't be ready until 2024." Not even that afternoon, apparently they had some in the team shop. I'm like, what changed? I'm like, it's great that people can go ahead and buy those. I'm like, but what changed? But I want us to go and rank the 4. So I'll start. For me, the black one is number 1. I like, actually, the road gray one is my second. Number 3 is the off-white. And to be honest, the one that has Diamondbacks on the front, not a fan, just because it's too long, and they had to really squish the font to get it to fit. I would have preferred if they just put Dbacks. I think they could have made it bigger and it looked better, but they're still look amazing. Like, that black one is straight, just beautiful. I'm hoping that they still wear the Serpientes ones on every Friday home game.
They do. Those ones are still going to be because those are like the Nike, like those are like an MLB sanctioned thing. Kind of like how the NBA has like the City Connect editions or whatever the thing is, to where those are just like out of the team's control. They're still going to do the Serpientes every Friday.
Those look great. Like, those are simply phenomenal. So Brett, I want you to rank the 4.
Honestly, I think very similar. I think I'm going to have the same 1 and 4. I think the black ones are the best. Like, just anything black, like, and then that teal just pops on there. The red, like, I still like the red. Like, I don't dislike any of the jerseys, but I think you hit it the nail on the head. Like, it looks too cramped. It's like it's too much going on, to where like my eyes kind of like it's almost like they had an AI rendering do it to where like the words and the fonts kind of just all blend together to where like, oh, if you just get a quick glance, you know what you're looking at. But if you kind of like go and you're like, the hell, what is this? But I think the off-whites are my second favorite, just because like I don't know, there's something about the way the red and the teal just pops with it. I do want them to go with the black hat instead of the red. Like I want this to be the one they wear with the off-whites.
Yeah.
To match the piping instead of the red top. And then I like the road grays. Like the road grays are good. I especially I didn't get a close up of the numbers, but the numbers on the jerseys look a lot like what the Cardinals did with their numbers, where they have those tiny little like dots. I think the Diamondbacks might have diamonds in them, but they do have some kind of like texture. They're not just a blank number. They have like tiny little things in it. So I do like the road grays for that aspect.
Gabe, let's hear.
What about you, Gabe?
Right. So, for me, I love the gray ones. I haven't really liked any of the Diamondbacks gray ones before, but this is one of my favorite ones that I've seen, especially with the hat. Bring it back to D, like the classic D on it with the red, so it looks really sick. And then for me, it's the black one, and then the white one, which again, these are new hats, I think, too, for the white and the black.
The
And
white one for
then
sure, yeah.
it would be
I
the-
know. Like I feel like
Yeah, right.
maybe they may have
then
adjusted the black one
the
a
red.
little bit, but it looks very similar.
Yeah, and then the red. My issue, honestly, is the fact that they got rid of the sand color. Because I think the red one would have looked really good with the sand color instead of the teal. So I just think the teal it throws it off, I think, too much for me. But if you would have had the lettering and stuff surrounded with the sand color instead of the teal, I would have liked that a lot more. But honestly, kind of just looks like the Walmart brand, Target brand ones that you
Actually-
find.
It does.
Actually does.
It's like a Walmart jersey.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
So
way too
do we think
accurate.
white's
Gabe.
probably
Wow.
the home jersey? So we'll probably see that the most at home. Gray's obviously the road jersey.
Yeah.
How often do you think they're going to wear the black one? Like, I want them to wear the black ones a lot. I just like.
The black will be, I'm pretty sure, in every Saturday game. Like, because ever since they introduced the black ones back in 07 when they changed, those were originally just the only, like, they only wore those on Saturdays. Like, those were
Uh-huh.
literally just the Saturday blacks. And then I think in the last year or two, they started to kind of mix it up. Like, they were wearing, like, I remember they'd wear, like, the black with the A on, like, a Tuesday home game. And I'm like, okay, that makes no sense. I don't mind. I like it. But I think they'll do every Friday home game is still going to be Serpientes, because I think that's just in the contract. Saturdays will still be the black jerseys. And then I think Sunday they'll sometimes alternate depending on, because I think the starting pitcher still somewhat gets a choice. Maybe they'll do the red ones, but I think or maybe they'll do the white ones, but I think the red ones will still be the
Ugly stepchild that they never wear.
the Sunday, whether it's
That's what I
home or
was
away.
thinking.
Yeah. Josh, I like what Josh said. A good point that I think why the red ones, I think we
Yeah.
all rank them where we do, is that the red and the teal are contrasting colors. So much of the teal surrounding the red lettering that you have to read and makes it naturally a little off-putting. And I think that's actually very accurate. Exactly. It just
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not pleasing to the eyes. So you have to do a double take just to read exactly what it says. Graphic design.
I'm just
101.
glad that they picked
Yeah.
these four guys to rep them, because they picked them.
Yes.
Corbin, Cattell, Gabby. Dude, Perdomo seems like the type of dude that
And Walker
that
too.
you want to go drinking with. Like, he's just having
Dude,
fun.
met Perdomo at the Fan Fest last year. He is one of the nicest guys ever. Like genuine. Like, also, my God, he is tall. Like, I know, like, he's tall, but like he's way taller. Like, he doesn't look that tall on TV. When you see him in person,
Isn't he
you're
like,
actually like,
he's got to be at least 6 feet.
Am I speaking to
Like
the same
6
Perdomo?
feet, 6'1", maybe 6'2". So
I mean, I'm 5'11", and he looked like 6'3", 6'4".
but yeah, no, I was
Short Kings Unite.
like, it's not that I didn't love the prior jersey. I just I want. Oh yeah, he's 6'2". By the way. So yeah, no, he's definitely tall. Perdomo, get in the weight room, please. I cannot stand these fly balls
Begging, yeah.
right to the track. Like, just work on it. He'd have at least probably 5 or 6 more home runs. Like, he finished with 6. I could have seen him with like 10 to 12. He had so many that were like, it looks like it should be a home run. It just dies at the track.
Yeah, no, there was way too many where off the bat, it's like, that's gone. And even the outfielder's just sitting there. It's like, nah, weight room nerd. Catch.
So we have one more slight topic, not a big topic, but there were some reports that came through the Dbacks Reddit. So take that what you will. But apparently, Chase Field is being installed with new LEDs, which is awesome. You always like, and the big one, allegedly, I hope this is true, they are finally going to repair the roof. Yes. That one's huge to me.
I'm excited for the LEDs. The LEDs, like the light shows they put on in Seattle and stuff. I'm hoping they could put around, put light shows, and maybe the out-of-town scoreboards too.
I think the Dodgers do the same thing too, and that was always so fun whenever you see the ball. Like, it's a little dangerous because when I saw a video, Max Muncy blasted a ball, and before it even landed, they started doing the light thing.
They turn off the lights and
but it looks really cool. I think that imagine if like they had that in the World Series, a roof open. You know, when they got the hype video going on, letting those lights go all around.
You better get ready because it's going to happen a lot.
Dre says,
because they're also going to sign Jorge Soler, and we're going to get some Soler light tower power, turn off the light home runs. Like, that is another one that I think
he can't play defense.
He's better than Tommy Pham though.
True. Yeah, those lights will be really nice. I think that'll be a nice change, a nice quality of life improvement, and then the roof being open, because it did suck. Like, it's kind of nostalgic being able to, like, you know, when you're sitting in the seats and they do the whole like, you know, cool like dramatic music while the roof's opening. Like, it's nothing crazy, but I don't know, it just added a little bit of extra like
and also
spice on top
to the AC, because there were too many games there in the last 2 months that I'd go and I'm like, why am I sweating inside?
I would actually get up from my seat, and a little tip for anybody else that sweats at the game like I do: stairwells at Chase Field. There's always in the middle of one of the flights an air vent that blows right down to the stairs. Nice quick little 2-minute trip. Oh man, you are ready to go back and experience Chase Field. But you shouldn't have to do that. So I agree. Fix the freaking AC. It's like 25 years old.
Yeah, apparently the AC at Chase, it's like, from what I heard, it's not even like controlled by Chase itself. It's like some weird centralized system that goes through all the buildings downtown. It's like this underground system. It's not, you know, like we have at the house or anything like that. It's this really weird old system. So, yeah. So, maybe that's the main problem. Maybe they have to like cut it out completely, install entirely new AC vents or something. I don't know what it would be, but I'm like, it was 115 for 40 days in a row this summer. We got to get new AC. We got to do something. At least, you know.
It doesn't have to be freezing cold.
In there. Like, I just
care. Don't want it to feel like it's the same temperature outside.
Yeah. Let that economic windfall and all that World Series money go to something actually improving
probably why
the
they're
experience
installing
at the
new LEDs and fixing the roof finally. They probably got the money for it.
So really, really quick last thing, like, I don't know, like, not to go on a big tangent about it, but do you think that these reports of like them fixing, like, you know, the lights, the roof, possible AC, do you think this might put to bed reports of them moving at all? Because I know like that was a big reason why, like, you know, even any of the drama of them leaving. I think the A's going to Vegas is the biggest nail in the coffin on that. But do you think them getting Chase Field updated actually kind of like will let that, like, oh, the Diamondbacks are going to move to, you know, Talking Stick, or they're going to move, you know, to either out of state or somewhere else? Like, I feel like that can just kind of like
it to bed
go away for a while
completely, but it definitely,
not completely, but at least for like a few years.
It's not something that we have to worry about, because I know a lot of people last year were really worried. Like, so all of this coming out, I'm like, all right, at least hopefully they're working on something. to make sure that they stay there. I want them to stay downtown. I think it's a good central location for everyone in the valley. The only problem I have is like if they move to Talking Stick, all the people on the west side may not go as much. It's the same reason why the Coyotes struggled with attendance for so long. No one wants to go to the West Valley to watch a hockey team.
Yeah, I mean, the issue with Talking Stick, I believe it might even be native land. So they wouldn't have to go to Maricopa County or anything like that. They'd have to go through the tribe that owns that area, I believe. Like, unless if I'm wrong, but I believe it would have to be through that. So then it might cause more issues, I think. Like, so what I knew from the Chase Field thing with the roof and all that, when the Diamondbacks signed the lease, the city said, the only way you can have this is if we're in charge of renovations. So then when it came time to fix the renovations, the Diamondbacks asked them, can you guys fix it? Are you guys putting up the money? And they're like, well, no, why would we give you guys money for something you guys can afford? But if the Diamondbacks fixed it on their own, they would get sued for fixing it on their own. So I don't know. They finally came into an agreement on this. I mean, if they're putting up new lights, it seems like they're finally found an agreement to where they can fix their stuff finally. So hopefully they stay there, because I would go to a lot less games if they move all the way to Scottsdale, especially for those 5:10, 6:40 games. Like, I am not
for
trying
me,
to
it's the
Scottsdale
opposite
at
because
that
it's
time.
closer for me.
The stadium is 10 minutes from my house.
So, but no, this was really good to hear that they were making these changes, because it does feel like certain parts of Chase Field feel a little bit outdated. We're what, 25 years ish, 25, 26.
Yeah.
So definitely there are some things that they will need to update. So we're getting new LEDs. Hopefully the roof is getting fixed. Hopefully they fix this AC issue. So a lot of things there. So it's going to be very fun. So as we are recording this, it is Thanksgiving morning. So we're going to go ahead.
Gobble, gobble,
We're going to
gobble.
start with Gabe. Your 3 favorite Thanksgiving Day dishes.
So I've always been a sides boy. So, when I go to Popeyes or whatever, I am like throwing them sides for me, because for me, it's mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, and bread. I love bread. I love biscuits and stuff. So for me, that's it. It's like, if you feed me that every day, I'll be so happy just eating that. Like, I don't care about any turkey or ham or anything. Like, just give me the sides.
Pretty good there. Brett?
Hell yeah. Honestly, very based list. I'd say before I give my first 3, I gotta say turkey is probably the most overrated holiday meal ever. Just it's cooked right like 10% of the time. But top 3, easy, green bean casserole. It is like, I don't know if it's the way my mom makes it, but always a banger. 2, love me some mashed potatoes and gravy, always a banger. And then 3, I am a dirty slut for some macaroni and cheese with a little bit of whether it's the baked one with like the crunchy topping, or as my mom does sometimes, she just grinds up some Cheez-Its, so you can just put some Cheez-Its on the top. Oh man, delicious.
All right. For me, number 1 is green bean casserole. I literally could have an entire platter of that. Like, I could have like literally nothing else. Number 2 is stuffing. Like, I love stuffing. Like, stuffing is so good. And number 3, I'm probably going to go mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes is definitely like
Classic.
Gabe said, side dishes is where there's so many good side dishes. As Josh says, side dishes, side hustles, side chicks. Like, that's just the way to go. That is just
Gabe, that should just be on your Twitter bio now.
Just be on your Twitter bio. But no, we do appreciate everyone here for tuning in. Brett, any final thoughts before we go?
No, again, appreciate everyone that checked out the show for checking it out. I know we got a couple articles up, I believe, from our man Gabe recently about Tori LeBeau's extension. So if you want to go do a little reading, definitely go check that out. Well,
Gabe,
no, nothing.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the article, it's on ASAP Sports. You can check that out, asapsportsnetwork.com. I have it, my case for Tori's Manager of the Year. But I also want to just give a quick shout out to the Padres fans, specifically the Seidler family. She just passed away in the last week or so. So, my thoughts are with them. Hopefully they can win a championship, in his honor at some point, maybe after the Diamondbacks win theirs. But yeah.
But no,
That's a very good point. Yeah, RIP. That was really sad. Like that guy, I did some reading. I know, Josh, or Brandon, you know a little bit more because obviously you're a Padres fan as well. But that dude just seemed like a very genuine guy, genuine baseball fan. Loved the city, everything. So, condolences to the Seidler family and Padres fans. That was very sad news the other day.
Everyone, we do appreciate you for tuning in. If this is your first time catching us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Make sure to like the video. Comment on anything that you heard us talk about. If there's certain players that you want the Dbacks to go after, we would love to hear it. Make sure to follow all of our socials, which will be in the description box below. We are just starting. We're hoping to do a little bit more content here. So until next time, yo.